All right, welcome back to Return the Disc. It's another Friday night. Means it's our final Friday night. Friday the 13th, part 8. Jason takes Manhattan.
Sort of.
Otherwise, Jason takes the boat.
I,
All right.
I always say Jason takes Manhattan. Sort of.
I like that. Very true. All right, as always, I'll start with my out of context new person, new virginity lost to Jason Takes Manhattan rundown for the final time. uh, I have to admit, I may have zoned out a couple times in this one, so this is a shorter list.
It's easy to do.
But we'll start with Druggies in the City, Random Rocker Chick, All Aboard Jason, Guitar Splat, Fight Club on a Boat, Bumped Off the Boat. He's
You're
come
going to be saying the
back.
boats a lot.
He's come back, and you're all gonna die. Kid Jason through the smoke mirror, Body Anatomy, film school. Oh, no film school for you. So that was the line I got mixed up from last review. My bad, guys. Jason Cruise Lines, Darth Vader breathing, Jason Hockey ad, West Side Story Jason, Bullet dodging dog, Jason rooftop punching bag, One Punch Jason, paddle boat in a puddle, electrical railroad, boombox massacre, broken payphone, and sewage Voorhees.
I forgot about that one with the boombox. All right.
All right, now head over to Paul's list.
All right. Here we go. Strap in because this ride's going to be bumpy. 2 spear gun stabbings, blood smearing, death by guitar, sauna stone to the chest, leaving bloody hole, metal pipe through the brain pan, 1 punch decapitation, drowning in toxic waste, wall slamming, multiple harpoon stabbings, machete to the throat, strangulation, electrocution, weather vane impalement, axe to the back, stabbing through the stomach, and gratuitous runtime.
Wow, that's perfect. It was way too long.
The longest one out of the franchise, an hour and 40 minutes.
And for how cool like the poster is and the opening, I was cool with like Times Square, seeing Batman 89, the advertisement for that. That was kind of cool and nostalgic. And then we're on a boat for like an hour and a half. And some random rocker chick has like 2 musical numbers and then once we finally get to New York, I thought it was better, but we'll get into it. I just think this is one of the worst sequels.
I'll say that, I did an interview with Eric Wilkeson, who's a film producer, and we were talking about Friday the 13th. I mean, and he brought this one up, and he's and 100% agree with him. He said Friday the 13th Part 8 was a huge disappointment. Now he was in his 20s when this came out, so he was able to see the in a awesome theater. I think I was, when did this come out? 89. I think I was 11.
Okay.
And so obviously not old enough to see it in a theater.
I was 2.
But you were 2?
Yeah.
2 years old? You definitely weren't able. Then again, I see people bringing R-rated movies.
You never know these days.
It's weird. Anyways, Paramount advertised the crap out of this movie. I still remember the trailers because they were such good teasers and trailers and TV spots. And back in the day when you'd rent a VHS tape and they would put, the trailer before the movie, I still remember that. I still remember the campaign. The whole campaign was genius and heavily relied on Jason in New York, to the point where I think he slashes through a poster or something, kind of breaks through the poster like the Kool-Aid guy bashing through a wall, and he sliced through the poster with his machete. And I think they had, I don't know if you saw the trailer or bothered, but
I haven't seen it.
I haven't watched it. This is how ingrained in my brain the trailer is to me, because I still remember all they did was show Jason in Manhattan. That's all they showed in the trailer with, I think Frank Sinatra's New York, New York.
Wow.
Playing.
Okay, that's a really good trailer then, it sounds like.
Yeah, awesome trailer. That's why it just ingrained in my head, this trailer. And then you watch it and it's like you said, feels like an hour and a half of them on a boat and then 10 minutes of him in Manhattan.
It's a different movie.
Yeah, which is true because the original script had him in Manhattan for the whole second and third act. And I can only think it's probably because of budgetary reasons why they couldn't film. But what's funny too is that the only scene they filmed in New York was the Times Square scene. Everything else was filmed in Vancouver. Canada.
Because it's the same group of druggies, and they had the boombox that they cut to. They had the opening with them, and then they used that same location, probably the same shoots day, same week, and have Jason in it, kicking a boombox, and then they cut to the rest. Yeah, I could tell it was a different location on the other stuff. It was like, okay, they're not even showing much New York here. Would have been cool if they had like a bridge fight or something.
Well, that's the thing, is that in the original script, they had Jason. I wrote it down here. They had Jason going to the Statue of Liberty, to the Empire State Building, to the Brooklyn Bridge, and also Madison Square Garden. And that
would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why they cut all that out. It would have been cool to have seen at least something else besides Times Square in New York. But
we do get a subway, which was still disappointing to me.
And it wasn't even like, again, it's not even in New York. It wasn't even shot on location except for the Times Square scene. And that Times Square scene is the best part of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Is him standing there and the camera kind of pans around him.
I will say the one scene that I really liked, and it sort of had me feeling like I'm watching They Live, where that fight goes on for too long, but the punching bag scene.
Yeah.
And then Jason just decapitates him. I actually was entertained by that scene quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the movie is so boring and such a slog until he gets to New York, but it takes so long to get to New York. And my question is, how in the world did they get this boat out of Crystal Lake in the first place into the Atlantic? It goes from Crystal Lake into suddenly the Atlantic. It's like,
no, I want to know something real quick. I know Jason goes to space at one point, but is there ever one where it takes place in the winter?
I don't think so.
Because I think this one would have benefited from maybe the first half being in the winter. Maybe Jason gets he's on ice or something. I don't know, but and then
they actually. And Jason X, one where they're in space, he's like frozen in cryo sleep. So they kind of did that.
Or just having a snowfall and Jason, that'd be awesome.
That would have been cool. Yeah, I mean, did he have a reason to even go to Manhattan? He doesn't. He just kind of goes on the boat to kill the people, and then he just goes along for the ride. Well, I think it would have been cool if there was some reason why he went to New York.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't find out that reason until the ending.
That would have been cool to bring in his dad, like you mentioned, in a previous video. It's just,
maybe like he senses his dad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, just something else besides he's just along for the ride on the boat. I mean, and
could you imagine Jason walking into a basketball game at Madison Square Garden or something, or just having that one scene where he shows up walking through chasing somebody?
Then again,
great.
It's so funny because Times Square, that's where they have all these people dressing up as movie characters, and everyone's, and plus that there's so many crazy people walking around that he would probably blend right in, which I think they should have played more on.
Yeah,
is have him walking and nobody cares. Everyone just thinks it's just an everyday, just a normal day.
They probably wouldn't, because there's so many street artists out there, street performers. He'd just be one of those people, especially if you went to LA. I mean, Hollywood Boulevard, he'd fit right in.
Yeah. So I think they should have played into that a little bit more.
I agree.
And
I think they played the stereotype of the druggies too much.
Yeah.
I was
it's the movie gang, the movie druggies. Yeah. And I think that, and they don't even do a good job, because sometimes in horror movies you want those people to die because they're such scumbags, and it's like you didn't if they lived or died,
right?
And Kane Hodder, he said that scene, because he was Jason again. He said that scene that they filmed in Times Square was practically the entire budget, because they had to block that whole scene off of Times Square. They had to get permits, which are expensive, not easy to get. And New York is really hard to get permits, especially if you want to film, And so they had this block of roped off for the scene, and yeah, he said that took basically an entire budget. And
man, just having it would have been great just to have a scene where Statue of Liberty is like in the background and Jason walks into our foreground in front of the camera or something. Something like that would be cool to have.
Or he's in the crown looking down, and he's raises up his machete, and the camera pulls out, and you see him on top of the Statue of Liberty. See, that stuff would have been great, but expensive too. People don't realize how expensive that all that is.
One of the other shots I really liked was the when he sees like the hockey advertisement. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
you had to have that.
That was cool too. So there's a lot of things you could tell the director wanted to do. Is he in the documentary? He talks about that himself, where he's like, they had so many plans, so many cool ideas for him in New York, and originally Paramount said, "Go do it, have to it," and so they thought they could. They thought that they would work more with them than they did, and so he said that he was so disappointed by the end result of the movie, because there was so much that they wanted to do in New York, and he said, I just thank God that they kept that Times Square scene in. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to talk about in this one. I mean, it's just he gets on a boat, kills kids, and then he ends up in Manhattan and walks around.
Yeah, it was a missed opportunity. I mean, it's almost like they should have just changed the name, and not even had Manhattan involved. But
well, that's what Paramount banked on. Is like I said at the beginning, they were played so heavily into the New York aspect in the trailers, teasers, promotional material. Nothing was even said about Crystal Lake. It was all,
and that's not cheap either. The promos, I'm sure they weren't that cheap.
Oh yeah,
to make and have advertisement.
Yeah. So they were trying to play hard into the New York aspect, and then people went to go see it, and they're like, "So where's New York?" Because we're still on a boat an hour later.
And you said that this kind of ended the relationship with Paramount.
Yeah. 7. I think the response from 5, then the response from 7, and then this just put the nail in the coffin, or the axe through the face, or the machete through the face of the franchise. Paramount decided, okay, that they're losing money on this. It's dead. It's a dead franchise now. So they sold it to New Line Cinema, and then that New Line Cinema did Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, and then that really bad remake, which you do not want to see.
Okay. Yeah, I think I kept zoning out in this one, thinking of how I would remake it, because I would totally do like a winter scene at least, having the snow fall, and just I don't know. I'd have to write it out, but it'd be
that
more
would have been cool.
Than this,
that would have been
cool. But
that would have been cool, or even in New York, shoot it in the winter time would have been cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been cool to at least done some even a little bit more differently there, where it was in the winter. That would have worked.
Had the lake frozen over or something.
Yeah, so they can't drown him again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always somebody going through a window, somebody drowning. Animal has to be safe, and then they always have to have some fake out at the end about it being in like a vision, or like this one we get a drug vision.
Yeah,
and the whole young Jason stuff we didn't get into, but it's not even worth it. I know there's big fans of this movie out there, and I've seen some lists where people have Jason Takes Manhattan pretty high.
Really?
So we want to hear from you guys below in the comments.
It might be because they're stoned while watching it.
It could be. I don't know. I have to be on something to watch these movies now that I've seen 8 of them. Like, I feel like I have to be on something.
Because I don't know how it could be up there like where Jason Ford. I mean, I don't know. But before we conclude, as for best kill.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have a favorite kill. I mean, I've always liked the toxic waste kill. Was he puts the guy's head in the toxic waste. I've always liked that. Um, and the boombox, did he punch some guy through the head or something? I
I
can't.
think he just kicks it, doesn't he?
Okay,
Keeps
I don't.
walking.
I don't remember.
But
But
I like the one punch Jason on the rooftop after the
oh
punching
yeah,
bags. Yeah, I like that a lot. The
and doesn't he
decapitation.
punch some guy's head off, and then it
Yeah,
like
that's the one
falls? Yeah. Okay.
where he's being punched a bunch of times, and then he grabs him and punches him once and takes his head off.
And then the head falls down right
Yeah, in the
onto
trash
the
can.
yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so I think those are
Yeah,
my two favorite kills.
for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think I think 8 is enough for you, right?
I think
Like
so too.
you don't really want to get into 9. Really sucked and it was really weird. The special effects are awesome because it's like almost like Jason as a fetus, kind of. It's really weird. It's really bizarre, but the special effects are awesome.
Is it a prequel?
No, it's
Okay.
like he's dead. He's dead. He's gone. He's dead. But he goes to hell and then gets resurrected. And he gets resurrected as this weird creature at first, and then like I don't really remember because it's been so long since I've seen it. But there was like some black goo, and if you get the black goo on you, then you're possessed by I was about to say Jesus. Then you're possessed by Jason if you get the black oil or ooze on you or something. It's really weird, bizarre. And then Jason X.
I'll leave it up to the viewers out there. Should I watch Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X? Yeah, I do remember being at the drive-in, I think watching Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and seeing Jason X is playing on the second screen.
Oh, really? Yeah, Jason X is fun. It's not the greatest Friday 13th, but it's fun. I've always liked it. So yeah, let us know if you guys want us to do a Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X review.
Yeah,
if we can find him
below, and be sure to follow Paul at Twinflix if you haven't already. What are you waiting on? Why are you even watching this if you're not following Twinflix?
Yeah, I mean,
links are in the description. And yeah, join us maybe for an after show. Let us know below if you want us to do an after show where we rank the Friday the 13th films. We'll probably do it anyway, but we just want to know if you guys are interested in that. We'll probably at least release like a ranking video. I don't know if we'll do an after show, but let us know your thoughts on all that. And just if you're a big fan of Jason Takes Manhattan, let us know as well.
It's kind of like in Friday 13th 6. We don't need the paintball crew, but we're going to do it anyways. So
exactly.
Leave your comments, but we'll do it anyways.
Exactly.
All right, man. It was fun doing these videos. Had a lot of fun and fun rewatching some of them. And yeah, guys,
it was fun watching them for the first time.
Yeah, and well, let me ask you before we conclude. Overall, what did you think of the franchise?
I think it's a franchise that did some cool things and really made like a legacy out of the character and the look of Jason. But I think they also missed a lot of opportunities on where they could have gone with certain locations or certain just storylines too as well. I mean, I think if they had written out maybe full scripts and maybe put a little more thought, maybe taken a year off between movies.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been to the heights of like, because I still think Nightmare on Elm Street is probably better.
Oh yeah,
overall as a franchise.
100%. Even though they didn't have all the scripts and story laid out, it was made up on the spot a lot of the time. Still, they had a lot more continuity and they had more time to figure out what they want to do. These were just like pumped out one by one like a manufacturer. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. But still, if someone wants to get into horror or slasher like you for the first time, would you recommend starting with Friday the 13th and then going on to maybe Nightmare on Elm Street? Or
that'd actually be pretty good. I think you definitely need to watch the first film, and then if you like that one, I would check out the sequels, but just don't expect it to ever get to that level again.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worthwhile. I definitely found some inspiration as a filmmaker too watching this, and I know I'm getting some masks in the mail, and I texted you earlier. I was like, it's funny how the inspiration comes with a silly mask, because I'm already thinking of like some skit ideas of how I could maybe do some skit stuff for the channel.
Well, that's like with when we reviewed number 4, and I said Simon and I, my brother Simon, were over house sitting for a family of our younger brother, and we're watching 4, and we're like, oh, we got to do something. We got inspired, and so we made a little skit, and based on what So yeah, I mean,
I hope you posted. I really enjoyed it. I think it's pretty good, pretty fun.
Well, if you want, I can even post it here on this channel. Okay. I'll send it to you. But yeah, I mean, like you thought that these were lowbrow movies. They didn't mean anything. Why bother watching them? Now, after watching them, you can really see how it can inspire you as a filmmaker and as a writer. And
yeah, because you're using what you have. I mean, you don't have a bunch of money to spend, and and for better or worse, like Jason Takes Manhattan, they used probably too much money on the Times Square, and they kind of handicapped themselves to a boat. And but that's what happens sometimes, and who knows what happened behind the scenes. It's tough to make a movie. There might have been too many heads in the kitchen. All these factors.
Yeah, well, when a franchise like this gets bigger and bigger, and this franchise was huge, then all the executives need their input in there, and like you said, too many cooks in the kitchen, and then not enough budget to do what you really want to do. And so so A was definitely handicapped by numerous things, I'm sure. But yeah, it was fun talking about these.
Oh yeah.
And, all right, so
I'll see you on your channel for some Scorsese.
Yeah. That's right.
Which was probably going to be already out by this time, but
maybe, I don't know. We're waiting for After Hours to come out, which I think is
end of July, I think. Or is it middle of July or something like that?
I think it's middle of July. But I also have another one coming that's in July. So I'm waiting for those two to come, and then we'll get into it. But yeah, guys, if you like Scorsese and like ranking videos, head over to my channel, because we're going to each pick 5 movies. We're not going to tell each other what they are ahead of time or what we thought of them, but we're going to pick 5 movies from Scorsese, and then talk about them and rank the 5 videos. So, which is going to be a hard one, because Scorsese
has a bunch,
an incredible amount of catalog of movies,
and they're all pretty great too. I mean,
Anyways, we'll get more into that on my channel. So
for sure. And watch out for Jason, guys.
He's not here.
Okay, good.
But you're going to put the links to everything in the description, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's down below. Peace out, guys.